crazy, bro. That's it right there.
For us guys, Zalo is like the godfather, okay? We love him. He's been around for a long time now. Was able to do it. For us guys, Zalo is like the godfather, okay? We love him. He's been around for a long time now.
If I was able to get in the
What's your name? What's your name? Zayla? Ooh, that's different.
Sabo is like the godfather, okay? We love him. He's been around for a long time now. okay? We love him. He's been around for a long time now.
Zay, that's crazy, bro. crazy, bro. Say, that's crazy, bro. crazy, bro. Say, that's crazy, bro.
What's your name? What's your name? Zayla? Ooh, that's different.
Hey, everybody, this is Big Jeff coming to you live from No Days Off Radio Production. Speaking from the show,
Dress it up and make it real
as
fun.
talk host of Nothing But the Truth with my co-pilot sitting beside me, as usual, Shanita.
What's up?
So we're gonna get to y'all today, and today we're gonna start off speaking on family values, and we're gonna end it with the bullshit testimony of Marissa Villarita. All right, so today I want to talk about family because I lost 2 family members this week. Well, in the last 2 weeks, and we buried them on Saturday, which one was my uncle, Mr. Stanley Fluker, and the other one was my cousin Mo, who I just wound up meeting this late in our lives. That was a part of my father's family, one of the only members of my family that I have ever met on his side. So, I want us to I think that we need to start considering our family values, is what I'm calling it, because we need to start acknowledging our people more. We need to start trying to interact with our families more than we normally have been doing. And that's on all levels. And I'm saying we because it's in everybody's family. Everyone has someone in their family who they supposedly don't get along with. Some people have members in their family that they have had disputes with, that they don't basically talk to on a regular. It's time for us to let all that go. It's time for us to go back to what Big Mama instilled in us, instilled in the family. Big Mamas are no longer in existence, but in such a manner to where that's who kept the families going. That's who kept the unity in the families. That's who kept everybody on a certain type of standing with each other in the family. Because whatever you went through with your family members, it was always brought up to Big Mama. And Big Mama can make that phone call and straighten everything out.
Right.
So we got to start integrating that back into our lives, not only for the people of our ages, my age, but for our children and grandchildren, and some of us great-grandchildren. Family value means a lot, believe it or not. And to have an issue with a family member and don't try to solve the issue, and 9 times out of 10, it's a petty-ass issue. You can't allow that to keep y'all separated. You can't allow that to keep you out of standard to where you feel some kind of way. You should never have to feel some kind of way about family, regardless of what. Because with family, whatever you go through with family, it should be to a fact of where y'all can sit down and talk about it and work out the differences. Unlike now, in this day and time, family issues are sometimes worked out with people from the outside, or it's caused by people from the outside. So we can't keep allowing that to separate family. If you have someone that's in your family's company and they are a thorn in the family side, you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision to either make that person understand that no matter what, this is family, or if you can't make them understand that, then you got to get that person away from you and your family. You got to get those people away. So we got to start back having the family reunions. We got to start back having the family barbecues. We got to start back having just a family day. You know, all the things that Big Mama had iterated in our lives, we got to go back to it now. Because not only is it hurting us as families, it's hurting us in the system too. You know, and it's a sad thing to see. You know, when you sitting in a courthouse and you visiting courtroom to courtroom to courtroom to courtroom, and you're looking at these young men and young women and some older men and older women going before these judges, being prosecuted by these bullshit prosecutors, and you look around in the courtroom and they don't have family there. Or if they do have family there, it's one or two people. We got to do better as families.
Nursing homes too.
We got to do better, you know, because to see these loved ones sitting in these courtrooms, being arrested, you know, dying, some getting put in position to where they are in accidents, and you know, it's because people think that they don't have family. People think that they don't have people that cares about them. You know, and I hate to hear people say the words about someone's family member on well, the family don't care, or their mama don't care, or their fathers don't care, or, you know, don't nobody care about what that person does or these people are doing. We gotta stop that. We gotta make society understand that regardless of what our family members get themselves into, they're still people. They're still people now. There's still somebody who belongs to somebody that cares. Just because they're going a certain route don't mean no one cares. That don't mean that. Trust me, it doesn't mean that. Because I'm the type of person that if me and one of my loved ones have a problem 5 minutes ago, 5 minutes later, if you put them in a situation, I might be the first one to show up for the party. And that's not a threat, that's a promise. But I'm not gonna come to their aid without trying to get an understanding. That's our problem. That's a lot of our problems today. Even when it's come down to the people that our people deal with in society, which we call the streets. If your loved one is in an incident to where, you know, they need to call somebody, let's stop just running to the fight and getting into the fight. Let's go to the fight and try to find out what's the cause and effect for this fight. Why did this fight have to take place? What made this fight get to the point to where it had to go to a fight, or a shooting, or a stabbing, or a brick throwing? Let's find out what the problem is. And then we go from there on making a decision on if we want to join in or do we want to try to help straighten the situation out. That's Big Jeff. I'm not gonna run to one of my kids' aid, or one of my family members' aids, or one of my loved ones' aids, or however you want to say it, and just get into it. No, that's not the right thing to do. Find out what's going on first. See what the problem is. You know, because if you get there after the fight, there's no need to go there and start backfighting. There's no need to go there and start shooting at somebody, or taking a brick, throwing it at somebody, or taking a bat, hitting somebody with it, because the damage has already been done. So let's try to see what's going on and see can we rectify the issue. You know, so we gotta start realizing this, people. And I'm speaking on this tonight because it's on my heart. And we don't know who we're related to anymore. We do not know who we are related to. Because, I have said this before. I was born on the west side. I was born in the Bluff. I was born on a street called Fox Street, right at the corner of Fox and Lindsay Street, in some apartments that was called the Horseshoe. That's where I was born at. My whole family is from the west side. My whole family is from the Bluff out. My grandmother had 13 kids. 10 survived. And they got kids. And their kids got kids. So I don't have an op. I cannot call a person an op because they're from the west side or they carry themselves as a person of this or a person of that, because it might wind up being a family member. We don't know. Until you trace your history and find out who your mother and father is really related to or who they could possibly be related to, you can't consider somebody your ops. Now, it's okay to not deal with somebody. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with, if I don't deal with a person, everyone who knows Big Jeff, they know that. If Big Jeff don't deal with you, he don't deal with you. And he's not scared or he's not ashamed to tell you he don't deal with you. That's keeping it real. That's keeping it real. Because once you let people infiltrate you, infiltrate your circle, that's when conflict starts. Mm-hmm. And our kids of today, they are easy prey for that. The kids of today are easy prey for infiltration. To where now the system has decided, at one time in the 80s, I'm going to show y'all how the system played with us. The system played with us back in the 80s and said, we're going to put in a law that if a parent whoops their child or chastises their child in a certain manner, they can go to jail or they can be charged with cruelty to children or this, that, and the third. In our society, the black race, put it like that, we fell victim to that. We fell victim in letting the system tell us we can't chastise our children. So our children became unruly for the parents who were scared of their children. The parents that became fearful of their children because of what the system had put out in our lives, they fell victim to it. So now your child falls by the wayside. Now your child gets wind of this as if, it's a parental thing. Now your children know that if my mom or my dad whoop me, I can call the police and they can go to jail or they can be arrested or this, that, or the third. Mm-hmm. Now your child has a tool to use against their parents. And the system has gave them that tool. Why not give them the gun and let them kill us? Because that's what you're doing. A lot of kids winded up killing their parents.
Yeah.
A lot of kids wind up having their parents put in a situation where their parents face jail time. Some parents went to jail for chastising their children. And the law said you can't chastise them. You can talk to them. Everybody's not to be damn talked to. Sometimes you can talk. Sometimes you can't talk to your better half without wanting to knock their ass out. So you want to knock your damn child out, because if you have to tell a child something, as my mom, Christine Williams, used to say, if you have to tell your child more than twice to do something, on that third strike, that's their ass. Excuse my French, but that's the truth. That's the truth. Christine had 3 names for you. She said, boy, son, and then she called you by your government. Which one you think she wants you to move to? Boy. All right? If she had to get the son or your government, you probably need to be ducking or dodging something. However you wanted to do it. So this is how we gotta get the system back out of our lives. Now, they did this to us up until the early 2000s. And I happened to be walking in the courthouse one day, and I looked at a memo they had taped to the board. And it said that all parents have their parental rights back to discipline their children. Really? Really? So now that y'all done corrupted our damn children, and y'all done gave our children all the advantage to whoop our asses, and now y'all got them in the system, and there's too many of them coming into the system, and it's because of what you all have put out in their, the understanding y'all have given them that they got the right to do what they want to do to an adult or their parents.
Right.
Now y'all tired of them, so now you give them back to us.
Right.
Now y'all give us permission to chastise our children. That's why Big Jeff never fell into that shit. Because I'm going to chastise mine. I don't give a damn how old they are. You ain't never too old, as my mom used to tell us. You're never too old to get an ass whipping from your parents. Never too old. And I'm a firm believer in that. Firm believer in that. So I have heard parents say, I don't want my children to be mad with me or to hate me or this, that, and other because I whooped them or I chastised them or I did some type of disciplinary action to them. Let me tell you something for you parents who believe that shit. Whether your child is 6 months to 60 years old, anytime you try to deny that child the right to do anything that they want to do, they're going to be mad with you anyway. So who gives a damn? Your child can be 60 years old and still be mad with you. Guess what? So what? You still their parent. You still the parent. They'll get over it. Trust me, they'll get over it. And those who try to ling on to it, so what? So what? At the end of the day, one thing that child can't change is the fact that you're their parents. They can't change that. No kind of way, shape, form, or fashion can they change that. So why should you give a damn? You're going to be mad. I say this to my kids. When they have their little attitudes or whatever with me, I ask them, how old are you? And whatever age they tell me they are, if they say I'm 35, guess what I tell them? You've been mad with me for 35 years. And you probably be mad with me for 35 more. But at the end of the day, I'm still your parent. I'm still the parent. You still the child. And that should go for their children too. So society has given up on our kids. Now we have alternative school. Alternative school prepares you for prison. That's what alternative schools are. There are schools that prepare you for prison. Because if you fail in that, if you can't complete alternative school and go back to your home school or go back to a school, period, then they know that you are going to wind up probably on the street, selling drugs, getting in trouble, and you're going to wind up a part of the system. And then you're going to have someone like the DAs that was in the YSL trial trying to uphold justice on you for something that you have already done and been held accountable for. And you're going to lose. If you don't have the proper funds to fight, you're going to lose. Sometimes we can have the proper funds to fight and still lose. You know, so either or, it sets you up for failure. It sets you up for failure. It sets you up so that the system can bury your ass. So let's get these kids out the street. Let's let these kids know that you do have family that care.
Yup.
Those are family values. Let your nieces and nephews, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, everybody in your family, let them know that they do have someone who care. Even at the lowest point, you can still care about your loved ones. All of us have it in our families. All of us have people in our families that think that they know the street, but don't know shit about the street. All of us have family members who think they got all the game and they got them game on zero. All of us have family members who feel like they just the shit and they ain't shit. All of us have family members who's on drugs, who's been on drugs and got off of drugs, who have committed crimes, served their debt to society, and came back to the streets and had a fulfilling life. All of us have had that. All of us have that. And for the families who haven't had that, hey man, that's a blessing from God. That's a blessing that you haven't had to experience that. But it's no way that a person who has never been in trouble in their lives can tell you how it feels to be in trouble.
Right. It's
no different than a woman or a man being a doctor or being in some type of child care, in some type of child care environment to where they have to talk to people or discipline people about doing something with children, toward children, or about children, and they don't have children.
Exactly.
How can you tell me how to raise my damn child and you're not a parent yourself?
Exactly.
You know, a damn book cannot tell you how to raise a child. People who are childrenless cannot tell you how to raise your child.
Them the ones that swear they can, though. Oh, my God.
You know, so if you have never lived it, how can you tell someone how to handle it? How? How can you do that? You know, so, but in order for us to get a grasp on it, we got to get control of it. We got to get control of it. And the way we get control of it is to put the values back. Put the family values back. Let's go back to what Big Mama raised our mothers and fathers to do with us. My mom died in 1997. I'm still scared of her. I'm still petrified of that lady. When I'm doing something that I feel like is wrong, or I'm doing something that is wrong and I have a time to think about it, she's the first person cross my mind. Mm-hmm. That assures me that I have done something wrong. When you can think about the people who have told you all your life what to do and what not to do, and what's right to do and what's not right to do, and what's wrong to do and what's not wrong to do, all of that shit is the same. Those are the people that you are going to think about when you do something against that. Yeah. So we got to bring family values back. We got to, because we are losing the fight. I would rather win the war and lose the battle. I don't want to lose the battle and then lose the war. I don't want to do that. That's not what we're supposed to do.
Check your phone.
We're supposed to lose in battle, but win the war. We come out on top every time. So let's start reiterating our family values back into society so that we can fight the systems that preys upon us on a negative way to convict our loved ones for something that they don't have a clue about. That's how we start dealing with those situations. You know, I don't give a damn about the gun violence. I really don't. And I'm saying it like that because I mean that. I don't care about gun violence because it's not about the gun violence is not what's tearing society up. It's everybody being allowed to carry a gun is what's tearing society up. Let's put our gun laws back in. Let's take martial law back out of society and put our laws back in for guns. That's how you control it. That's how you can start getting control of it. Doing a gun buyback don't mean shit.
They're going to get them anyway.
If we buy back 1,000 guns, 2,000 been put back on the street. And now you got these corrupted ass officers. Hell, they stealing the guns out of from the sale, and they putting them back on the street, or they taking them home, keeping them for souvenirs. They collecting them. You know, and you wonder how this gun, you know, we had an incident in the YSL trial where they say they had a gun that had been a buyback that wound back up on the street. Who in the hell could have put it back out there? How did it get back on the street? On a gun buyback, law enforcement is the ones who's collecting the guns. So how did it get back on the street?
Yeah, tell me, Bishop.
You know, how, you know, we gotta, you know, let's start holding the people accountable that, you know, for what they do. Let's start at the top. Let's start at the top. These are the things that cause us to lose family value.
Yep.
We are losing our loved ones to the street because everybody feels that no one cares anymore. You know, so we got a lot of things to deal with now. Now that we have OG Funny Willis back in office for another 4 years, which, you know, it shouldn't be, you know, but that's my opinion. It shouldn't be. She should have been impeached a long time ago. We impeach everybody else. We have had people try to impeach the president. We have had people try to impeach the Secretary of State. We have people that try to impeach the Secretary, the United States Secretary. You know, we have had a whole lot of people to be put up for impeachment. But for some odd reason, for some strange reason, we have a district attorney who's being treated as if she's above all of that.
All of that.
To where impeachment haven't been put on her name not one time.
Untouchable.
Not one time for all the corruption that she's showing us they are doing. The district attorney, the Fulton County District Attorney Office is showing us to our faces that they're above the law. And no one up high is speaking on it. No one is speaking on it. We got to make that make sense. Who do this woman have something on? Who do these people have something on to where no one is challenging them in their authority and them for them abusing their authority? For them to be committing an ultimate crime as to be maliciously prosecuting people for no apparent reason. You know, we got to make this shit make sense. We got to make this make sense because it's heart-wrenching to see these people going through these trials.
It ain't them.
And for you to sit in a courtroom and see that everybody in the courtroom is against them. And when you listen to some of these cases, you can see that some of these cases are really made up cases.
Mm-hmm.
And they're being prosecuted as if it's the bona fide truth. And it's all because no one is sitting in the courtroom representing their loved ones. That's not how it goes. We gotta start showing up to show out. And when I say show out, I mean make the system understand that these are people. These are human beings, man. How in the hell can an animal have more rights than a human being? How? They just had a funeral for a dog because the dog was part of a police department that got more publicity than one of our loved ones. You can go to jail. I have seen people be prosecuted for cruelty to animals and get more time for cruelty to animals than for cruelty to children.
Right.
Let's make this shit make sense. Let's make this make sense. You know, family values. If we lived on family values and principles, the courthouse parking lot, the courthouse steps, the courthouse sidewalk, the streets in front of the courthouse and around the courthouse would be full of protesters. If we stood on family values, if we start back standing on family values, this is what can happen, people. We can get people out of office. We can get, let's put up an impeachment. It's time to file an impeachment. You know, we have a district attorney who bucked on the Senate. What I'm saying is but not your bone truth now. Do your homework. Haven't showed up for not one hearing that the Senate scheduled for. And no one is saying anything about it. Ain't nothing being done about it. It's not being publicized that some type of effect is being done about that situation. Our district attorney told the Senate that she's not coming to her hearing because the subpoena is unlawful. But yet and still, we have witnessed the prosecution team put warrants out on people because they say they don't want to testify in a case. And they subpoenaed them anyway. And if they didn't answer the subpoena, they was arrested. They seeked a warrant and arrested them just to make them come to court to testify. That's a violation of your rights.
It's crazy.
That's a violation of your rights. But it's all a part of family value. We have witnessed them making a 70-something-year-old lady come to court to testify to nothing.
We got CMT 2013SS. She said the press hasn't pressed her either. She has zero accountability.
You know, so we got to make these people accountable for their actions. They trying to make us accountable for ours. Let one of us send a letter back to the district attorney office and say, I'm not answering to this subpoena because it's unlawful, and see what happens.